Kayla Asbury. I'm 23 years old and this is my testimony. I grew up in church. My dad is a pastor. My mom was a worship leader. So from a young age, I knew that God had a plan for me. It all started in high school and I started smoking marijuana when I was a senior. And I was 18 years old when I lost my virginity. I was drunk and don't remember it. I just remember waking up and realizing what I did. I was raised in a Christian home and believed that you're only supposed to be with one man, and so I started dating him, and we dated for 3 years. When we graduated high school, I moved up to college. I was mad at my parents. They started having marriage problems, and that's when I really started partying. I was drinking 6 to 7 days out of the week. I dropped out of college when I was a sophomore. My sophomore year, I dropped out of college and was running far away from God. I felt like there's nothing to show for my life. I was 19 at the time. That's when I was offered help. I talked to someone and they offered me to live with them. And the second time they offered, I said yes. I moved from St. Cloud, my college town, to Champlin and broke up with my boyfriend. I didn't want to date him anymore, and I was excited about my future. A week later, after I moved in, I found out I was pregnant. At that moment, I was at my complete low. I hit bottom. I realized, I was excited for my future, and then this happened, and that is something that I was not ready for. I didn't want to be with the boyfriend I was with. I was scared, and so I thought the only way to fix my situation was to get an abortion. So that is when I scheduled my appointment to get one. And I knew it was wrong. I grew up in a Christian home, and so I knew it was bad, and so I kept it a secret. So when I told Amy about how I wasn't going to be around, that my friend was pregnant, she was going to get an abortion, I was going to go with her, she talked me out of it, saying that her friend in college had an abortion, and she suffered from depression because she realized that she killed her own child. And it was at that moment that I realized that, oh my gosh, there's a baby inside of me. It's not just about what I want. I actually have a baby inside of me. So it was at that moment that I decided I was keeping the baby. I went to church and I was a wreck. I was crying, and that's when I told my parents and Amy that it was me. After that, we made plans, and I was starting to think, okay, not so selfishly. I watched my abortion date come and go, and that night I went to bed excited. That night I went to bed going, okay, I'm having this baby and it's gonna happen. I finally made a good decision that I felt good about. That night I went to bed and I woke up because I was feeling some pain, and so I went to check on it, and I quickly realized I was having a miscarriage. I called my mom because she had 5 miscarriages before me. So before I went to bed, I decided to pray. And I was kind of new at this praying stuff again because I just started going to church again. And I said, God, I know you have a plan for me, and I know you want what is best for my life. So whatever happens, I trust you. And that was when I actually felt like I met God. I felt He was holding me that night, and I felt this amazing peace, unexplainable peace. I can't even explain it. The next morning, I ended up having a miscarriage. I went to the hospital and I miscarried the baby. And at that moment, I felt confused, and I felt sad, and I felt disappointed, and I felt that I'm gonna be okay. That following month, exactly a month actually, I was cleaning my room and I went under my bed and I found this folded up piece of paper. And so I grabbed it and was like, what's this? So I opened it up, and when I first started living with Amy, I told her I felt weird praying. It was weird to pray out loud. I was uncomfortable with it. It was awkward. I felt like people thought I was crazy. And she said, write your prayers down. So So I open up this little piece of paper, and I still have it. And it says, "Dear God." And it's just this letter of when I decided I was going to keep the baby. And it was at my lowest point. It was at, I need you and I want you. And it was so cool reading that because he answered every single prayer that I had on that sheet of paper. And so I rededicated my life March 28th, 2009. Since I've rededicated my life to the Lord has shown me so many different things. He's shown me how faithful He is. He shows me how much He loves me, how beautiful I am to Him. I decided to come to Christ for the Nations, May 2011. Since my time at CFNI, God has delivered my dad from alcoholism. He's restored my mind, and He's also helped me forgive people that I needed to forgive from my past, especially myself. If there's one thing I want you to take from my story, it's that you have to choose. No matter what circumstances you're in, no matter what situation you're facing, God will always provide a way. You just need to make the choice.